God has also set the Christian free. And I realize that God saved Peter. You remember when Herod had him locked up in jail, and he was down there and nobody was able to go his bail and help him out, and want you to know that God can work it out. You remember that John was on the Isle of Patmos, and he didn't have even a dog to pat his head, and was out there by himself, but God worked it out. Paul and Silas was caught up in the Philippian jail, and they were in the stocks, and it was crossed up, and no one to help them out, but they prayed at midnight and sang songs, and God helped them out. The Philippian jailer didn't know what was going to happen to him and how he was going to get out of the jam, but Paul stepped forth and said, we all here, don't do yourself no harm. And I remember a man by the name of Cornelius, and he was lost, but God sent an angel and said, I want you to go find a man by the name of Peter, and it will save your whole house and you too. I want you to know that God can work it out.
Yes, he can.
Let me dig a little deeper into this phenomenon for a minute. The historical record reveals to me that God has worked it out many situations for a number of people. I want you to remember that what he has done for others, he'll do the same thing for you. When Abraham was in Egypt with Sarah, his wife, he lied about Sarah being his sister. And Abraham got into a jam on account of not telling the truth. Look back a few days on your own life, and you'll be able to tell yourself that I was in a jam too, because I was prone to telling lies, and God had to probably come and get you out. Can anybody relate to Abraham's problem about telling the truth? Don't answer that question now. God worked it out for Abraham. God's wisdom, God's grace, God's mercy, God's power, God will work it out.
Amen.
God is able to work things out. In fact, God specializes in working things out.
Yes, sir.
I don't have no help in here today.
You got it.
I say he specializes in working things out.
All right.
If you have a problem that seems impossible to God, I want you to know that if you just turn it over to him, he will work it out. You might remember a fellow by the name of Joseph. Joseph had several brothers who hated him because his father loved him dearly. His father, in fact, loved his mother so much, and he was the son of his old age. And he one day made a coat of many colors, gave it to Joseph, and it set them boys on fire. Joseph had to endure rejection from his brothers, but you all remember how Jesus was rejected? But God worked it out. When they rejected Jesus, I heard somebody say that the stone that the builders rejected now doesn't become the head of the home. I want you to know that God will work it out. Joseph had to endure many years in slavery down in Potiphar's house. Joseph had to spend a number of years down in Pharaoh's dungeon.
Yes, sir.
But I want you to know that if you hold on and don't faint, if you keep the faith and don't give up, God has a way of working things out. So I see somebody calling Joseph from out of Pharaoh's dungeon, and Pharaoh said, bring him here to me, and I got a dream that I need him to interpret. I want you to know that God will work it out. So Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dream, and I see him putting him on a royal cloak. Not only a royal coat, but they're hanging a chain of gold around his head. And Pharaoh said, I want you to make him number 2 in the kingdom, except for me.
Yes, sir.
I want you to know God will
work it out.
Amen. Let me see if I can make this message a little more plain here. In this life, you need to know that there is someone that you can count on. You need to know that there is someone who has your back when man turns his back on you. When, as they say, the going gets rough and the way gets tough. When the road gets dark and you can hardly see your way, you need somebody that you can count on. When old awful time comes around to your house, when you look in every direction, old trials and tribulations is with you every step of the way, you need to know that there's somebody that you can count on. There's another thing about life also, and That is, you cannot trust everyone. Can't trust everyone with your very important things. No, you need to know who's working things out for you. Whose hands have you placed your problem in? See, because if you give me your problem in the morning, you can still gonna have your problem. Because I got enough problems of my own. And if I give you my problem, I ought to have sense enough to know that you got problems of your own, and when the morning comes, I'm still going to have my problem. But you need to know that there's somebody that you can put your trust in that will work things out for you. Somebody said that you're in good hands with Allstate, and I don't have much of a problem with Allstate, but they can't work it all out. And when it's all over with, they're going to send you a bill for the insurance. But I know a man that fixes things.
Yes, sir.
And he won't send you a bill after it's all over with. I heard somebody say that he dropped the charge.
He dropped the charge.
Else say that
yes, sir.
Don't charge my son.
Yes, sir.
You don't have a problem that you can't solve. There's not a problem that he cannot fix. But you need to know who is working things out for you. If I have a financial problem, I don't want a plumber working on my financial problem.
Amen.
If I have a medical situation, I don't want the mailman working on my problem. If my automobile is not working, I don't want the bag boy down in Harvest working on my problem.
Look out, preacher.
If I got a problem, I got to see the man that I can believe in that will work my problem out. If I got a financial problem, I want to go to a financial advisor. If I got a medical problem, I want to go to a man that knows something about medicine. But I heard somebody say that he's a lawyer that never lost a case.
Amen.
He's a doctor that
yes, sir.
never lost a patient. No. When I look at the historical record,
yes, sir.
I'm reminded of the man from Galilee. For I remember that there were 12 lepers who had a problem and Jesus worked it out.
Right.
You remember when the lepers were by the side of the road and they stood afar off and Jesus was over there and they were scared to cry out, but after a while they cried out and Jesus said, what y'all want, what y'all need, and they said, look at us. We got a problem. And Jesus worked it out.
Amen.
I want you to know that you need to know who can work things out. I remember that the centurion had a problem and Jesus worked it out. I recall that a certain man couldn't walk and Jesus worked it out. I remind the blind Bartimaeus who was set by the road and Jesus worked it out. And I see the lady with the issue of blood for 12 long years.
12 years.
I see Jesus worked it out.
Worked it out.
And I see another lady who was in the synagogue, been over 18 long years, but Jesus worked it out.
Yes, he did.
I see another man with a withered hand and Jesus said, stretch forth your hand, and he worked it out.
Worked it out.
Like I can see myself going down to Lazarus' tomb. And Lazarus been dead for long days. And he's there, and Jesus come and said, Lazarus, come forth. And wants to know that he worked it out.
He worked it out.
Peter is locked up down in Herod's jail, but Jesus worked it out.
Yes, he did.
The Jews seek to kill Paul for preaching the gospel, but Jesus worked it out.
Yes, he did.
What he's done for others, he'll do the same thing for you.
Yes, sir.
When I see the centurion, I see the Lord saying, don't worry, my son, I'm going to make it all right. When I see the lame man, I see the Lord saying, don't worry, my child, I'm going to make it all right.
All right.
When I see blind Bartimaeus shouting, Jesus, thou son of David, I see Jesus saying, don't worry, I'm going to make it all right. When I see the lady who was caught in a very act of adultery and pulled down in the street, Jesus was stooping on the ground. I see him say, don't worry, my child, everything's going to be all right. What he has done for others, he'll do the same thing for you. God will work it out. Oftentimes, what our problem is that we won't give God time to work it out. See, we don't have enough patience to stay there and hold on a little while longer and let God work it out. See, we got patience about the size of a chick leg, and our patience is no longer than a chick place. I don't know when the last time you seen a chick, but their legs ain't long.
Amen.
We want God to do it right now, Lord.
All right.
We want Him to work when we call.
All right.
We want when we get out on our knees and get up, we want God to have it done. I ain't saying that He won't do it, but sometimes we got to have patience. See, Job waited 12 long years and he endured his condition, but he ran on anyway.
He ran on.
The lady who had an issue of blood had it for 12 long years and she worked out and waited on the Lord. And the lady who was once been over for 18 long years, she waited for the Lord. And the man who had the whip in the hand waited on the Lord. And the blind barber waited on the Lord.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sometimes in order for God to work it out, you got to wait on
You got to wait.